At the start of the 2025 Formula One season, it looked like Max Verstappen's dominance had finally reached its limit. And before we get into it, let me just say, I never thought I'd be making this video. Like, genuinely. A month ago, Verstappen was 104 points behind Oscar Piastri. The championship looked done. Finished. Over. The media had already crowned Piastri. McLaren was celebrating. Red Bull were in shambles. But now, right now, Verstappen is 40 points behind with 5 races left. McLaren should be absolutely terrified because this man is a straight-up menace when he gets momentum. 3 wins in the last 4 races, 2 sprint victories, 91 points scored in 4 weekends. Meanwhile, Piastri has scored 27. 27. The momentum has completely shifted. And honestly, I'm not even surprised. So today we're breaking down why Max Verstappen might actually pull off one of the greatest comebacks in F1 history. And why McLaren, despite having the championship lead, are absolutely bricking it right now. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about Austin. Because what happened at that race weekend was genuinely hilarious if you're a Verstappen fan, and absolutely devastating if you support McLaren. Sprint race. Lap 1. Turn 1. Oscar Piastri touches wheels with Nico Hülkenberg's Sauber, and he spins directly into Lando Norris. Both McLarens out. First lap, 0 points. And Verstappen? Man just strolled to the sprint win like he was on a Sunday drive. 8 points. 3 points. Gift wrapped by McLaren themselves. This was literally an uncontested layup. Like leaving Steph Curry open for a 3. You just don't do that. You could see Max trying not to laugh in the interviews. Like, yeah, unfortunate for them. While internally he's like, let's go. Then Sunday comes around. Verstappen's on pole. And from lights out to checkered flag, he never looked back. Led every single lap. Controlled the entire race. Made it look easy. Lando managed P2, which is decent damage control. But Oscar? 5th place. Struggled all weekend. Never had the pace. Never looked comfortable. Verstappen gained 23 points on Piastri. In 1 weekend. 23. The gap that was 63 points before Austin. Now it's just 40. And there are still 5 races left, including 2 sprints. And you could see it in the McLaren garage. The panic was real. But here's the thing that really has McLaren shook. It's not just that Verstappen is fast. It's that he is literally their boogeyman. He haunts them. Every single weekend. Last year, Austria, Verstappen cooked them. USA dominated. Brazil, don't even get me started on Brazil. Started 17th in the wet and won. Made them look like amateurs. This year, Australia. His relentless pressure gave them constant headaches. Japan. He straight up destroyed them at Honda's home race with that gorgeous Red Bull livery. Imola overtook Piastri around the outside at turn 1 and never looked back. And especially against Lando, he just keeps getting bullied by Max. Like Miami earlier this season. Even though Verstappen didn't have the car to beat McLaren, he still put up an insane fight because he's just got that killer instinct. That never say die mentality. Which, personally, I feel is lacking at McLaren. Yes, they've produced a great car, and yes, Piastri has been brilliant so far. But it just feels like Verstappen and Red Bull are hungrier. They want it more. Despite all the success they've already had. Like any time I've seen Max get beaten when he could have won, he's got this crazy look in his eye. Like he cannot bear the thought of finishing second if a victory was on the cards. But McLaren? They seem way too happy finishing P2 and P3 behind Verstappen. Way too comfortable, and that's dangerous. Because the moment you give Max even an inch, he takes a mile. You give him a sniff of an opportunity, and he will punish you time and time and time again. That's just who he is. Plus, let's not forget, this isn't new territory for Verstappen. He's been in championship fights before, multiple times, and he's won them all. 4 consecutive world championships. He knows how to handle pressure. Piastri and Norris. This is their first real title fight. Piastri's in his 3rd season. Norris is in his 7th. But he's never fought for a championship like this. Experience matters. And right now, the pressure is going to be diabolical. But it's not just about Max being Max. Red Bull as a team have also had a massive glow-up. Like for real. The RB21 was struggling earlier this season. They had some rough weekends. The car was unpredictable. Hard to set up. Couldn't match McLaren's race pace. Then they brought upgrades. Specifically, a new floor. And it's like they unlocked a completely different car. The operating window is wider. The tyre degradation is better. The balance is there. It's reminding people of the RB19, the car that absolutely dominated 2023. Monza was the first sign. Verstappen pulled up, set the fastest lap ever around that circuit, and then completely blew everyone away in the race. All while McLaren were busy playing the Fairness Championship behind him, asking their drivers to swap positions back and forth. Then Baku. From the moment the weekend started, Red Bull were on fire. Perfect setup, perfect strategy, perfect execution. They made all the right calls in a tricky qualifying session with unpredictable weather and crazy wind. And Max locked in, complete flow state. And operationally, they've been flawless. Pit stops on point, strategy on point, setup changes hitting perfectly. It's like the Red Bull we got used to seeing, that well-oiled machine that just doesn't make mistakes. A lot of that comes down to the new team principle and the technical approach they've taken. After the Horner situation erupted in early 2024, there was a lot of chaos. But now, new leadership, new focus, new energy. And it's working. They're also listening to Max more. Like at Monza, Max asked them to trim the rear wing even more. The engineers were like, nope, that's too risky. But they tried it anyway, and it worked. Perfectly. Unlocked a whole new level of performance. And here's the scary part for McLaren. Most of the remaining tracks favour Red Bull. Mexico has long straights. Vegas has long straights. Abu Dhabi has long straights. And Red Bull thrive on tracks where you can run low downforce and high speed. Their floor is just that good. They can run a skinnier rear wing than everyone else while still maintaining grip in the corners. It's been their strength throughout this entire regulation era. And now that the car is actually working properly, they're dangerous. Very dangerous. But let's talk about McLaren's problems. Because despite having the championship lead, despite having the fastest car for most of the season, they keep tripping over themselves. Strategy mistakes, slow pit stops, team orders going back and forth. They fumbled so many opportunities this season, it's actually crazy. And the biggest issue? They have 2 drivers who can win the championship, which means they're fighting each other while Verstappen just cruises away up front. It's literally 2007 McLaren, with Alonso and Hamilton all over again. Remember that year? Alonso and Hamilton took points off each other the whole season. And who won the championship? Kimi Räikkönen for Ferrari. By 1 point. McLaren had the fastest car, but lost because their drivers were battling internally. Verstappen doesn't have that problem. He's the clear number one at Red Bull. No internal battles, no team orders drama, just pure focus on winning races and closing that gap. And both McLaren drivers have shown they're not immune to pressure. Piastri had that absolute howler at Austin, crashed in the sprint, jumped the start in another race, drove into the wall. That's not the cool, calm, collected Oscar we saw earlier in the season. And Lando? Man keeps choking when the door swings wide open. Like, he's had so many opportunities this season to do serious damage to his rivals' championship hopes. And every time, he bottles it. Every single time. Against a lesser rival, maybe they'd get away with it. But against Max Verstappen, no lead is ever safe. This guy is like a shark. Once he smells blood in the water, he attacks. And right now, McLaren are bleeding. So can Max actually pull this off? Let's run the numbers real quick. 40 points behind, 5 races left, 2 sprints, 125 points available. If Max wins all 5 remaining races, that's 125 points. If Piastri finishes second every time, that's 90 points. Verstappen wins the championship. But Max doesn't even need to win every race. If he averages first and second place finishes, while Piastri averages third and fourth, Verstappen wins. If he wins 3 races and finishes second twice, while Piastri has even 1 DNF, Verstappen wins. And based on recent form, Max is driving at an insane level right now. 3 wins in 4 races, barely making any mistakes. The car is fast. The team is flawless. The momentum is all on his side. Meanwhile, McLaren are visibly rattled. Andrea Stella admitted Max is a genuine threat. The drivers are making unforced errors. The team is fumbling strategy. The cracks are showing. Would I be surprised if Max closes a 40-point gap in 5 races? Honestly, no, not at all. Because after seeing what he did in Brazil last year, starting P17 in the wet and winning, I've genuinely not ruled anything out with this guy. Anything is possible. And here's what makes him so dangerous. It's not just the speed, it's the mentality. This man is an animal when it comes to fighting for championships. Winning isn't enough for him. He has to dominate. He has to break his opponents psychologically. That ruthless, suffocating consistency. That ability to capitalize on every single mistake his rivals make while giving nothing back. That's what separates him from everyone else on the grid. McLaren can't afford another weekend like Austin. They can't afford strategy mistakes. They can't afford their drivers crashing into each other. They can't afford to let Max get within striking distance. Because if he does, I've got my money on Verstappen winning it all. 5 races left. Mexico next weekend. Then Brazil with a sprint. Qatar with another sprint. And the season finale in Abu Dhabi. Every single one of these races is going to be absolutely crucial. This championship is wide open. 3 incredibly talented drivers. Everything on the line. The pressure is going to be insane. And honestly, I think we're about to witness one of the most dramatic championship finales in recent F1 history. Max Verstappen has absolutely nothing to lose. He's already got 4 titles. If he wins this one, it's just another one for the collection. But if he loses, whatever. He's still a legend. But for Piastri and Norris, this might be their only shot at a title for years. The pressure is all on them, and pressure is exactly where Max thrives. So yeah, can Max Verstappen win the 2025 championship from 40 points down with 5 races left? Absolutely. 100%. And honestly, McLaren should be terrified. Because this is Max Verstappen we're talking about. And when he gets momentum like this, he's basically unstoppable. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Can Max actually pull off the comeback? Or will Piastri hold on? Are McLaren going to choke this away? Let me know your thoughts. Please like, share and subscribe if you're new to get my latest videos. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.